Hi Pisces, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your December 29th, 2020 full moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from your body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as you enter into this safe and loving space. All right. So let's let the bulls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. How will Pisces be affected by the December 29th, 2020 full moon? How will Pisces be affected by the December 29th, 2020 full moon? How will Pisces be affected by the December 29th, 2020 full moon? How will Pisces be affected by the December 29th, 2020 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Ooh, goodness. Okay, and these two as your bonus cards. Can you see that? Ooh, 1 minute. Awesome, yes you can. Okay, great. All right, let's see what your chakra energy is for this time. How will Pisces, not Aquarius, how will Pisces, there we go, be affected by the December 29th, 2020 full moon? How will Pisces be affected by the December 29th, 2020 full moon? How will Pisces be affected by the December 29th, 2020 full moon? Angels And spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Fantastic. These three. So we have here nurturing the Earth Star Chakra, located 6 inches below your feet. We then have listening, the throat chakra. And we have universal light, the soul star chakra, located 6 inches above your crown. And we'll get to how all this equates to the tarot and also to the moon in just a moment. Now, the left-hand side is your inner self. The middle is your heart, your emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. And, of course, your 2 bonus cards. So we have the 5 of Pentacles, the 6 of Cups, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. Right, so this is you coming through. This is also your connection with the full moon in Cancer, which is on the 29th of December. You also have the fire sign energy connecting you with the full moon in Leo on the 28th of January. The 3 of Cups, the 9 of Swords, the King of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, connecting you with the new moon in Capricorn. The High Priestess, always a very powerful, powerful sign, but also astoundingly powerful when it comes up with you. The 6 of Air, the repeat of the number 6, means that divinity is watching over you, which we greatly see right here. You then have the 3, you have the 6 of Swords, I do apologize, the 3 of Swords, the World, and the Empress. So that's beautiful, sacred feminine energy coming forward, which is very, very powerful in Cancer. And here there is a sense of stepping into your power in a way that you wouldn't normally. You then have the 3 of Fire. So you now have the number 3 showing up here 3 times in this reading. So the divinity is absolutely watching over you. Oh, and you have the Emperor. Oh my gosh, when you have the Empress and the Emperor together, this is the King and Queen of the major arcana. So this is heavy hitting. Whenever I have the King and Queen of the same suit from the same deck, this is a soulmate connection, true love connection. You have it like to the 10th degree. So this is a powerful, heavy hitting time for you during this moon. And I'm just going to switch this so I don't keep on hitting it with my sleeve, because the last thing we want is for everything to topple over. Okay, perfect. So let's see here. The universal light makes perfect sense now. Okay, so let's start off with the nurturing. This is, again, the Earth Star Chakra, located 6 inches below your feet. This is a sense of nurturing the passion within you, nurturing your inner child, nurturing your inner self, seeing yourself being able to move forward in a powerful and profound way. And this is opening up the world to you. This is opening up what you greatly desire. There's a sense here of, can I move forward? Do I know where it is that I want to be? Do I know what it is that I desire from my life? And the answer is yes, deep down inside you do. And I know that that can seem rather flippant, because it's like, oh yeah, deep down inside I have all the answers. Great, that doesn't help me now. But there is a sense here of nurturing these sparks within you and saying, well, how and why, and why not take this chance or take this person's advice that sounds kind of out there when I first get it, but then starts to make sense to me. It's like it starts to bring me into alignment with who I am. And there's just a sense here, it's like, if you don't take this risk, then you never will. And it doesn't mean like, you quit everything and you join the circus and all that stuff. It means that you take this chance on yourself, and you can kind of, I hate the term rebranding, but you can kind of look at things and say, who is it that I am, and what is it that makes me me, and how is it that I want to present myself? And if you have to think of it as rebranding, which I think is a bit coarse and crude, then do so. But it's more of a, how do I step into my authenticity, and how do I follow my soul and my passion and my power and my brilliance and my truth? And that's where the listening comes in. During this time, you're seeing changes come forward. You're seeing yourself astoundingly affected by the moon, which is just so you, Pisces. You have this beautiful connection to the moon. You have this beautiful connection to the waxing and waning of life, to the way things change, to the way things evolve, to the way things become. And so here, when the throat chakra says, listen, it's powerful, because it's like we all in this world are so guilty of talking and talking and talking and not listening. And so here, when we listen, when we step back and we actively listen to the people around us, when we actively listen to ourselves, that's world changing. That is profound, and it is brilliant, and it is powerful, and it is perfect. And so here, the art of listening is something that we're losing in this world, and that's sad. So to hone that skill and to get it to almost be your superpower, listen to books on tape, listen to the words in music, listen to yourself, what your soul is saying, what your heart is saying, listen to everything, and see where it takes you. Because you're going to be surprised. You're going to be surprised by how you start picking up on the birds singing, how you start picking up on, just the sounds that are around you, around your world. And that starts moving you forward in a way, that starts guiding your decisions. You ask a question in your head and you start to hear a bird sing, and you're like, oh, well, that connects me with this thought or with this memory. Or you hear a squirrel and it's like, oh, that connects me with this thought and this memory. And it's like, oh, wow. And so listening for you is going to open up a whole new way of understanding, a whole new sense of learning, a whole new way of becoming. And it brings you to the universal light. It brings you to being this universal light that comes outward, that connects you to the ether and grounds you to the earth and says, there is so much more to me than I realize. And it can seem overwhelming to embrace it, but it would be a shame to let it pass. And that's what the full moon in Cancer is all about. The full moon in Cancer has us surrendering to the divine, and it has us gaining our power because a personal issue is reaching a resolution. And it doesn't have to be like I have a problem right now and I solve that problem. And that could be what the moon is talking about. But it's more of a personal issue within your heart, your soul, yourself. Because the full moon in Cancer is bringing us into such a synchronicitous time. It really is. It's bringing us into a time where synchronicity is key. We started off 2020 with the full moon in Cancer. We're ending 2020 with the full moon in Cancer. And that's a time here where we can reflect upon the year if we want to. If we don't want to, we keep on moving forward. But there's a sense of, think of all the things that you wanted to happen in the beginning of 2020 and all the things that didn't happen because of the world. And now look at where you are now and all the things that you want to happen now. Has what you look at, has the way that you embrace your life changed? Because I know mine has, most definitely. And this full moon in Cancer is going to be bringing it up. It's going to be bringing up your sacred connection to the sacred feminine, to what is nurturingly important within your life. What you sit there and you realize, you're like, wow, I need this. Is it family and friends and people who have become like family? Is it connecting with your emotional well-being? Is it, not overthinking, overanalyzing, but kind of letting things flow and become and embracing that? Is it nurturing your soul and yourself and your ideas? What have you learned that wouldn't have been learned? Or what have you seen that you wouldn't have seen? Is it like, wow, I'm not valued here? Or, oh, wow, that is something I never want to experience again? Because it connects us. It connects us with this sacred truth of emotions, the sacred truth of the interconnectedness of life and of love and of people, of understanding. And this moon is in her house. The moon is ruled by Cancer, or Cancer rules the moon. And so here, when you have the moon in her own sign, she feels at home. Luna feels at home. And so during this time, she kind of radiates that out. So you start to feel at home within your skin here, Pisces. And it's kind of like, what do you need to feel at home with? What is it that makes you feel at home within your soul, yourself? Is it going for a nice walk? Is it exercising? Is it playing a video game? Is it reading a book? Is it, all these myriad of things? Is it connecting with your kids, your dogs, your cats, like whatever? What makes you feel connected to the world? And how do you, or connected to yourself and therefore the world? And how do you amplify that? How do you absorb that? How do you acquire more information to bring you into that space, to bring you into that place? And this is a time where your instincts run astoundingly high, and you find that you need to trust yourself, and you're being very introspective, which can lead to melancholy. So that is something that you're already going to be prone to. Yeah, you are going to be prone to this. Now, it doesn't matter where exactly on the Pisces scale that you fall, but especially if you have a lot of Aquarius, and that's why Aquarius came up before with your chakras, because if you have a lot of Aquarius in you, there is a sense of being very emotionally connected to things, and so that can be very, very powerful. Also, if you have your moon in Aquarius, I mean, that's going to come out hugely during this time, and your rising and so on. So look at your natal chart, look at your emotions, look at your birth date, and see where it is that you stand. Even if you are close to Aries and you're thinking, oh, that totally balances everything out, it makes you a warrior, but it makes you a very sensitive warrior. It makes you a warrior that sits there and looks at all the lives that were sacrificed, all the chaos that happened, and you feel it. So it's a powerful place to stand where you stand, Pisces. And it's not a place to be taken lightly, because there is such power and there is such brilliance and there is such connectiveness to you that you will want to turn off the button. You will want to sit there and say, you know what, this is too much. I can't do this right now. But you're going to find that it's needed. It's needed to embrace your heart, your soul, yourself. And you're going to really easily want to turn that and be like, okay, well, what do others need of me? And how can I help other people out? And it's like, okay, well, that's great. But now it's time to look at you. Now it's time to look at you and come to your emotional self with compassion and with sympathy and with understanding, because your emotions are running high and you're kind of pulling out the poison of what has kept you small, what has kept you quiet. And you are going to feel that at times, like, things just get a little bit too intense, but that's where you need to be, because you're leaving behind a pauper mentality. You're leaving behind a sense of, oh, it was better when, and you're embracing a truth of, this is who I am now, and this is where I need to be. And as you do so, the new moon in Capricorn, which is on the 13th of January, really transcends a lot of the emotional kind of struggles that you have been going through, because it doesn't transcend it. Well, it does. Okay, so let me just say, because I'm contemplating here with Spirit, because Spirit is saying you rise above what has emotionally been holding you back. But that's because you start to see wins. And wins, once you win a little bit, it's kind of like you can keep on that upward trajectory. But once you start to slip, it's called the Matthew principle, I think, in business, where too much is given, much is expected. I believe that's what the saying comes from in the Bible. But it's like, once you have, you can accumulate a lot. But once you don't have, the slippery slope goes down fast. So with these new beginnings, you start to see yourself ascending. And there is a sense here, Pisces, where you can kind of get into your own head too much and be like, well, when am I going to slip? When is everything going to fall apart? How do I know how I move forward? And the new moon in Capricorn is like, your hard work is paying off. Don't sit there and question it. Don't sit there and say, okay, well, this one was good, but I know tomorrow is going to be terrible. It's like, no, know that you give your all and that you have this astoundingly elegant, eloquent, touch to things. You have this astounding way of pulling energy together and moving things forward, that if you're trying to fit yourself into the little tiny box of, this is what everybody does, this is how everybody does it, you're going to fall and fail. But if you sit there and you say, this is me, this is how I do it, this is what I want, you're going to find that you succeed very, very, very powerfully. And it might not be in the way that you accumulate, bazillions of dollars, but it is in the way of you start to build a very solid, very stable foundation. It brings you then to the full moon in Leo, which says, don't let pride get in the way. And that's going to be very powerful for you, not to let pride get in the way, not to sit there and say, this is my ego, and my ego is going to rule this, because that's going to come out very easily with the full moon in Leo. It's going to be like, well, I'll show you, and I'm going to be so successful that everybody else is this like jaw on the floor type of moments, and it's just going to be a win for me. So here, it's like, no, step back, and take the ego out of it, and then say, for the joy of my heart, for the power of myself, where do I need to be? How do I move forward? How do I embrace me? Because once you take the ego out of it, you embrace your truth. And it's going to be kind of tricky, because you're going to sit there and say, well, don't let pride get in the way. But you want to be proud of what you do. You want to sit back and look at your work and say, wow, well done, me. So here, it's not being proud of what you do. It's not being full of pride. It's not letting the ego guide and say, well, if everything isn't just absolutely, kind of gushed over, then I've done wrong. It's like, no, not at all. Because you have here as your spirit animals for December, and then going into January, you have very powerful spirit animals that are connecting you with this creative energy, with the creative energy of the world, because you have the sacred masculine and you have the sacred feminine coming forward. And the cool thing about the owl spirit is that the owl spirit is the spirit animal for December and also the spirit animal for January. So I know it's only 3 days, but the 3 days that you still have the horse spirit with you, because you have the horse spirit with you right now and all through December, this is a time of action, because the horse spirit connects you with the sacred masculine. It brings you the strong sexual energy and the strong kind of conquering energy, and you have that come through here with the emperor, with the sense of I have a goal and I will conquer that goal. I will move forward in the way that brings me success, power, and bounty. And that's going to be the driving force for you. And that's going to be on what you thrive on during this time. What you sit there and you say, well, how do I balance the spiritual side of me and the earthly side of me? How do I balance the instinctual side of me and the planning side of me, the wild side of me, what Jung would call the shadowed self, and the tame side, the civilized self. And you're going to find this being a juggling match as you move forward in your power, as you move forward in your truth, as you go after what it is that you desire. And as you do so, strong emotions come up because you have this creative, powerful, intense energy swirling around you. And it says here, freedom is yours. Freedom is yours if you embrace it. Freedom is yours if you take this energy and you run with it and you kind of hone it in something. Now, it could be that you decide to take this energy and use it creatively, like use it in writing or in any form of art, in sculpting, in anything. It could even be in mathematics and learning programming, or in programming, or whatever it is that you do. If you take this energy, you kind of hone it that way, that would be brilliant. But if you also, it will be brilliant. You'll see that there's a vibrance to it that is astounding. But if you also take this energy and say, I'm taking this strength and I'm honing it, it's like you start weightlifting, you start doing something that involves strength, and that involves strength of body, you're going to find that it's like, oh wow, this feels right during this time. So just be mindful of that. It brings you to the owl spirit that says you see clearly now. The veil is being lifted from your eyes. You have that here with the high priestess so beautifully coming forward. But this is a highly instinctual time, because you're seeing beyond the mask, beyond the deceits of others, and you're seeing what others can't. But do note, because everybody has the owl spirit as the spirit animal of December and also of January, everybody's seeing what others cannot, but they're seeing it for them. They're seeing what others cannot in their truth and in their eyes and in their way of moving forward. So it can be like everybody's reading the same book, because everybody's having these, it's like everybody's having these profound revelations for them, and it unites everybody, but everybody's reading that book in a different language. So it can also really, really start to frustrate everyone. But this brings forward change and transformation, because what you're doing now is you're looking at the shadows, and you're not afraid to face the shadows, and you're taking time to face what normally you would turn away from, or you would shine light into, and you would lose the depth of coloring, the depth of shading that was around it. And you start to see that there's wisdom in silence. There's wisdom in contemplation and introspection. It's very much also connecting you with the moon in the tarot in and of itself. And so that, of course, represents you here, Pisces. So there's power for you to move forward in this wisdom. And it's time to hold on to your truth. And that truth is your sacred understanding. You're not dealing in lies, and you're not giving way to lies. That's what the Kipling poem says, don't deal in lies. And so here, you start to embrace your spiritual perception and perfection as you enter into the power of your life, as you enter into this truth. And it brings you to the bear spirit, which is also the spirit animal of January. Of January. And it says, take time out. Take time out to look at the seeds that you've planted over your heart. Take time out to ground yourself, but also for solitude and meditation and rest, as you challenge what you are confident in, as you challenge your confidence, as you embrace the symbol of your healing, and as you move forward in the greater truth of you. Because there is a sense here of a fierceness about you, kind of like a mama bear mentality. And I know people say, well, what about the papa bears? Well, if you've ever had baby bear cubs wandering around where you are, They don't say, watch out for the papa bear. They say, watch out for the mama bear, because that mama bear is going to be coming real soon to check up on those cubs. So that is the sense. It's kind of like you are going to be very protective of something astoundingly sacred to you, just like the mama bear is protective of her cubs. And there is a sense here of that protection coming out of loss, or the fear of loss, because the Five of Pentacles is heartbreak and pain and disappointment and anger and upset and upheaval, because you have been on the outside of wealth for just way too long. And you can sit there and you can see everybody else succeeding around you, and you'll feel like, wow, it's just me. It's just me. I don't get to succeed. I don't get to be happy. It's always just, same old nonsense, different day. This is a time where you find yourself entering into your prosperity. This is a time where you find yourself highlighting what you're good at and not seeing it as something silly, because so often we look at our talents and we say, well, of course I'm good at this. It just comes easily. And we don't realize that for everybody else, like, that's a big thing. It doesn't come easily to everybody else. And so here, as you are embracing your talents and your understanding and you're looking at things, you're also starting to open up the door that you had barred and that had been barred to you. Like, first somebody else barred it. Like, they put that wooden plank in front of the door, right? But because that became part of your reality, it now has chains and it has extra doors and there's metal over it. And now you're going to see that all that hardware that kept you out falls away. And you walk in with confidence, with pride of self, with determination, with purpose. And it leads you to this sense of nostalgia. It does lead you to a sense of looking at the past and thinking, my gosh, did I waste all this time? And the answer is, a part of you is going to say, yes, I did. The part of you is going to say, wow, I could have had this life before. But here's the kicker. You couldn't have. You couldn't have, because you weren't who you are now. Every single day when we wake up, every single moment we live, we change. We change our point of view on things. We change our insights and we change our ideas. We look at things more openly and more honestly and more purposefully for ourselves. And we are always evolving. We are always changing. We are always becoming. And so when we look back and say, I could have had this then, it's like, no, you couldn't have, because you weren't ready. And it could have been that, yeah, okay, you would have been successful, but what happens if you would have just poured it down the drain, had that success, had that burst of success, and then never had any more success to follow? It's like, no. It is better to wait. It is better to build. And so here with the Six of Cups, it's looking at things, and it's not letting the failures of the past dictate the present. It's also not letting the hopes and the dreams of the past dictate the present. You might not have been where it is that you thought you were going to be. You might not have moved forward the way you thought you were going to move forward, but you are moving forward in power. And that is going to be a powerful shaper of this time, that you're heading in the right place, that you are moving towards what you greatly desire. I mean, you're surrounded here by queens and kings and emperors, and there's a sense of passion and power and beauty to you. But of course, the moon does make us feel very nostalgic. The full moon in Capricorn makes us think, can I move forward this way? Am I doing this right? Do I know what it is that I desire? And yet, what if I did this differently? What if I did that differently? And we can spend our whole lives living in the past, sitting there and looking at our should-haves, our could-haves, our would-haves. And you know what that does? It just steals away our present. It steals away the gift that we have right now and the power that we are embracing. So here, with the Six of Cups, there's a warning. There's a warning that as you move forward in the power of yourself, there is a sense of, well, I can't do anything right. Nothing ever, happens, the way that I want it to, or the way that I need it to. Everybody else can, kind of step in manure and come out smelling like a rose, but it's not me. But there's a sense here of leaving that behind, of kind of taking that idea or, this look at yourself, this way that you've been seeing things, and saying, no, I'm done. I look at the past and I look at who it is that I can be today, and how it is I've been shaped, and what it is I'm moving towards, and where it is that I want to be. And as you look at this, and as you see this here, Pisces, you start to embrace the fire, the passion, and the truth that is you. You start to have, your heart chakra illuminated by your passion, by what you desire, by what you need within your life. This is why the universal light, shines within you and is this gift that radiates from you, because you're looking at things more openly, more honestly for yourself. You're stepping back and saying, I don't need to be in the center of everything for everyone.
I don't need to be what I always thought I should be. You know how we wear those masks that say, this is who I'm supposed to be, this is how I'm supposed to move forward, you know, this is where I'm supposed to stand, and I'm supposed to hit these marks in my life. And if I don't hit these marks in my life, well, then obviously I've done it wrong, or everybody's going to judge me. It's like, what if you just hit the marks of being happy? What if you let the passion of your fire, your happiness, your joy, your understanding shine true and be such a prevalent part of you? Because you're moving forward during this time with the fire burning brightly, with this sense of, this is who I am, this is where I need to be, but you have that pull. You just have that undercurrent. It's kind of like when you're swimming out in the ocean and you have that undercurrent that kind of pulls you off course. So you think you're swimming straight, and you get on shore and you're looking for your people, you're looking for your towel, and you're like, where the heck am I? You know, why isn't everybody there? And then you realize, wow, I've really gone off course. It's a bit down a ways on the beach. That's what this is. This is going to take you off course to where it is that you truly want to be. And that's in the place of your power, in the place of your passion, because you have queens here rooting you. You have queens showing around you, guiding you forward, saying, let your passion show. Let this fire, let this truth, let this beauty be a part of you. And then you have the Queen of Water, which is you in the minor arcana, most definitely. It's also the full moon in Cancer, really coming forward, really shining through, really sitting there and having you look at things and think of things differently than you have before. And this is a sense of saying emotionally, what is it that I desire? Emotionally, where is it that I stand? This is saying, I can only control one person in this world, and that's me. And sometimes we forget that. We think, well, it's everybody else. You know, I can help this person, I can help that person, I could be this for this person, I could be that for that person. And what we forget is that the only person in our lives that we have any control over is ourselves. You know, we can't control our toddler having a tantrum. We can't control, you know, our partner being mad. We can't control anything like that. You know, it's just family members, friends, as much as we want to. We can't pull them up when they're down. We can't have them see things differently. And so here, with the Queen of Cups, just like the King of Cups does it more so, because the King of Cups really does take rule of his own life and say, this is it. But the Queen of Cups does it too, in a much gentler, much more compassionate way. Maybe not saying so much of, this is me and this is the only person I can rule, but really saying, this is me, and the only way that I can truly build up the world around me, if I want to build up the world around me, and that can be a choice that you're looking at here. It's like, why? Why do I have to? Type of thing, is that you start to look at your heart and your soul and your passion and your fire and what it is that you love. And that's where these two queens come together, because the Queen of Fire is not afraid of rolling up her sleeves. She's not afraid of going after what is so needed within your life, within your truth, what needs to get done. And the Queen of Cups kind of steps back and says, well, how do I look at this? And where do I want to be? And what is it that I'm looking for? And how do I move forward in that passion, in that truth? And how do I connect with what it is that I love? Because you're absorbing the information during this time. This full moon in Cancer has you absorbing and acquiring, you know, so much of what you need. And that makes you into a queen. And it doesn't matter, you know, how you identify yourself. It matters that you're going to feel more comfortable kind of behind the scenes. I always see the queens as the directors behind the scenes, the kings, the actors upon the stage. And so you're going to be more quiet, more introspective. You're going to be looking at things, and instead of saying, what can I do for everybody else? It's like, how can I position me to move forward in this way of power, in this way of understanding, in this way of passion, in this way of truth, to get me to where it is that I need to be, soul, mind, and spirit. Because you have the High Priestess and you have the Empress. I mean, linked with the Empress, linked with the Emperor is just simply astoundingly beautiful. But you have the sense here of claiming a power you thought was lost, or you didn't even know could be a part of you. And that's where the Three of Cups comes in. The Three of Cups is the heartbreak, the pain, the disappointment, the despair, the anger, the upset. It is the person that was supposed to celebrate you that didn't. And then you're going to take this one step further, Pisces, because here, especially if you're on the brink with Aquarius, okay? You're very sensitive, you're very connected. And it can also be if you're on the brink with Aries, which has you kind of pulled two ways here, that you are going to find that you're looking at things and then you start to say, well, if that person upset me by doing that, and look at where I messed up here, you know, how do I move forward? Where is it that I want to be? Like, it's like, there's a fear, I don't know how exactly to put this. There's a fear that you're being two-faced, right? You'll expect to be treated one way, and then you've messed up along the line places, and you'll think, oh, well, maybe that discounts it. Maybe that takes away the beauty that I'm supposed to need. Maybe I've been the Three of Cups for somebody. Maybe I've been that negativity that was supposed to raise them up and just didn't. And that's where you're going to have to pull back, because that's, first of all, putting you in the past, right? Which is the battle that you have during this time, not to move into the past and sit there and judge yourself so harshly, to judge yourself so negatively, and not to go back to that pauper's mentality, like, oh, well, I don't deserve better because I messed up along the way, because I doubted, I feared, I didn't know. And so here with the Three of Cups, there's a sense of love coming forward. There's a sense of looking at those people who have hurt you, and also coming to terms at times with the people that you yourself have hurt, and saying, oh no, no, I don't get to be judged like this. Like, I don't get to sit there and wrap myself in knots over what other people, first of all, won't even remember. And secondly, because of the negativity that was spoken over you, you're always going to think, oh, I just have to swallow it a bit more. I just have to, kind of push through the doubts, the fears, the angers, the upsets. They're irrelevant. I'm making a big thing out of nothing. Your heart is saying to you, no, look at this, honor it, see it, and then move forward. Because there is a sense here of you changing the game, of you changing what it is that you've seen, the way it is that you've looked at things, how it is that you want to move forward. And as you change this game, as you reevaluate everything that it is that you are, and all the words that jumble around in your head, you start to see, oh, well, maybe that time, in that moment in my life, that was the way I was supposed to handle it. And then you start to see for the other people, it's like, well, maybe in the moment in their life, that was the way they were supposed to handle it. Maybe we were supposed to scar each other in different ways to make ourselves stronger. It's not that we wanted to, or that we thought it was a good idea, but it could have been an arrangement before you were even born that you had between their spirit and your spirit. But there is also a sense here of saying, I'm done. I'm done with putting extra burdens on my shoulders. I'm done with thinking I had to be perfect, and yet making excuses for everybody else's narcissism and anger and deceits and, deceptiveness. I'm done. I now move forward and live forward in my truth, in my greater understanding. And I'm not going to be held silent anymore. I'm not going to have their words take away the power of mine. And that's going to be a huge part for you during this time, because there is this sense here that you have of blaming yourself. There is this sense that you're just going to take it, Pisces, and put it all back on you. Oh my gosh, if I would have done this right. Oh my gosh, if I would have done that right. I could be where I'm supposed to be. I could move forward in the way that I was supposed to move forward. And here it's like every single heartbreak, pain, and disappointment was for a reason. Every single despair. And I know it sounds horrible, especially if horrible things have happened. But to sit there, and sometimes, yes, things are just out of your control. They don't have real meaning to them. And we're talking about the truly horrific things within our lives. But also, if you rise, and if you stay in this place of strength, you're like the phoenix rising from the ashes, you find that the nightmares, they don't have the same hold of you that they once did, because you've climbed that ladder in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. The Nine of Swords are 9 swords layered above, a person's bed. And so here, as you climb up it, they cut your feet. They hurt. They cut your hands. They cut your feet. And it's progress made through pain. And that's what you're seeing here. A lot of the times you're seeing progress made through pain. You're seeing the sensitivity of your heart being tested time and time again. You're seeing the power of what it is that you want, the determination of who it is that you were coming through time and time again. And it's like, well, how can I just have a win? How could I just move forward in my truth and in my understanding and in my brilliance? And there seems to be an anger around this. It's like, why is it that everybody else can have wins and I can't? Why is it that everybody else can look at their fears and say, well, you know what? I'm not going to let that get to me. I'm just going to keep on moving forward. The fact of the matter is that a lot of people fake it. That's like most of our world. We fake being secure. We fake being, confident within ourselves, and we keep on moving forward. And so here with the Nine of Swords, when you look at the nightmares, when you look at the doubts, when you look at the fears, and it's within this whole line right here, because you have the nostalgia come in, you have the nightmares of, well, maybe I can't move past this, maybe, this was as good as it was going to get, I peaked at 16, great, that's awesome, type of mentality that comes forward. And then the nightmares come because of that, because it's like the past was either so hard that it took away your wings, it clipped your wings before you flew, or you had joy and then it was taken away, and there's melancholy there. And there's a sense here with the Three of Swords. It's like heartbreak, pain, disappointment, these traumas that have made you. And it's like, do I only get to live in trauma? Do I only get to live in doubt and fear and anger? And that's part of the nightmare. And that's part of a lot of the apprehension that you have. It's like, how do I get to move forward? Where is it that I get to be? But there's a way of kings that embraces your heart. There's a way that you are looking at things and you are saying, I want to be prosperous. It's like, it's no longer being on the outside of wealth. It's no longer letting my fears dictate my future. It's like, I want this for myself. I want to be more than the negativity that was spoken over me when I was a child. I want to be more than the generational curses, the trauma dramas of my past life. I want to be in this life strong and powerful and prosperous and in tune with myself and in harmony with my being. And so with the King of Pentacles, you're looking at things and you're highly connected to this new moon because it's a new start. The new start is coming. The new moon is coming. And your hard work gets to pay off, which is something that has always been a struggle. That has always been something that you even doubt. Even when you have success, it's like, okay, well, when is that next shoe going to drop? When is it that I get to go back to my, rotten luck, my sacrificing for everybody else and people just expecting it? When is it that that's going to come back? Because the King of Pentacles is saying here, there is prosperity coming forward. There's beauty that you are planting. There is power that you are stepping into. And I have such a sense of, kind of like pitter patter over my heart. It's like, okay, let's get going, let's move, let's go. Because it's such a sense of, I'm done with this. I'm done with the hardships. I'm done with the pain. I'm done with the disappointment. I want to move forward in the power that is me. I want to plant the seeds of my success. And the thing is, again, Pisces, to look at things not in the realm of everybody else. Everybody else has their success one way or another. Excuse me. Look at what you're interested in. Look at who it is that you are and start planting those seeds. Start taking that passion in. Start looking at things more openly, more honestly for yourself as you move forward. As you say, this is me. This is where I need to stand. This is who it is that I am. Because as you start to see the interconnectedness of things, as you start to see things pulling together, moving together, you embrace and are embraced by the High Priestess, which we see coming through in the Sacred Feminine, in the Owl Spirit of this time. There is a sense of seeing beyond the masks of others, seeing beyond the deceits, the hardships, the angers, the pains, the disappointments, and stepping into your power, looking at things and saying, this is me. This is where I need to be. The Oracle of Delphi, which is always what I think of when I think of the High Priestess, she had people from all over the ancient world come to hear her prophecies, not because they thought she was, silly, but because they wanted to hear what the future held. And her prophecies were always given in riddles, and they spent their whole lives unraveling them, moving forward, interpreting them as best they could. And that's what our lives are. Our life purpose and our life passion is given to us in riddles. And it is our life that is spent to unravel those riddles, to unravel our truth, to see the power that is around us. And as you start connecting truly and powerfully and brilliantly with yourself here, Pisces, you start to see that there's meaning in the smallest of things. There is meaning in the most intricate of ways that come forward. And it is a sense of standing in your truth and in your passion. It's like when you start to hear the birds sing, when you look at the way the wind's blowing and you see the way the leaves move around in that wind, you look at things, you're observant of things, you're looking at things in such a different way that it starts to be divinity speaking to you. And you can sit there and say, well, that's so silly. They're birds singing and it's wind blowing. It's like, yeah, it is. But it's also a moment where you're taken out of the craziness of the world. You're taken out of the kind of manic, let's keep going. And you're centered for just a moment. And that's when divinity kind of pulls at your soul and brings you forward in a way that you hadn't expected, starts showing you things that you hadn't thought possible, or that you hadn't put together quite that way before. And that's why you are connected here with the King of Pentacles, because you're looking at things in such a different, more profound, more extraordinary way. And you see things clearly. You see things more intensely. You see things more purposefully. And as you do so, you step into the grace that is you. You step into this greater understanding. And as the High Priestess comes forward, really into your life more and more, you're not taken up by everybody's lip service the way that you once were, or by thinking that what they say to you, means something. You're going to sit there and think, prove it. Let me see by the actions. Let me see by the way you're unraveling the riddle that is your life, the prophecy that is your existence. Let me see how you live. Let me see how you move forward. Because it brings you here with this sense of deeper understanding and powerful commitment to your soul and to yourself. It brings you to the Six of Air, the Six of Swords. It brings you to taking your knowledge and moving forward with it, going after what it is that you desire, facing kind of rockier roads, doubts, fears, angers, upsets, upheavals. And it's like, I am moving towards what I need. I'm moving towards where I want to be. Are you scared? Absolutely. But are you powerful? Are you intrigued? Are you going after it? Yes. Yes, you most definitely are. And as you do so with the Six of Swords, you are becoming more connected with you. You are looking at things and saying, why not? Instead of why. So that is going to be one of the things that you say to yourself during this time, and you'll find yourself with this moon. It's like, why not? Instead of, well, why would you do that? It's like, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you give that a shot? Why wouldn't you look at something differently? Why wouldn't you, take that leap and go after? Because what you're looking at here is like, as you're moving forward, you then have the fears come in. And that's what you're going to have to say to yourself. Why not? Why not, break what has been holding me back, break the chains that have been holding me back, the doubts, the fears, the angers, the upsets. Because the Three of Swords in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck is a heart with three swords stabbed into it. Here, you have the angel turned away. But every single bird that is alighted on her wing, that is on the branch, they have a crown over their heads. And that's very powerful for you. It's like every single heartbreak, every single pain, every single disappointment that comes up while you're shaping your life, while you're moving yourself forward, it's there for a reason. It's like divinity has said, this is something that you need to look at. Because with the Three of Swords, what we do is we kind of lock that away. We shove it in the back of our mind and we say, okay, I dealt with it. I dealt with it. It's not bothering me anymore because I refuse to let it bother me. But we haven't dealt with the issue. We haven't dealt with the heartbreak, the disappointment, the anger, the upset, the upheaval that it has caused. And so here, and that it has cost us and that it has caused. So here, with the Three of Swords, it's looking at that heartbreak. It's looking at that pain. It's giving it honor. Because if you do not honor every single aspect of you, you cannot move forward. And it can't even be that you look at like the jealousy that's been in your life. You look at the way that you can feel forgotten and overlooked and, sit there and think, wow, this person who messes up all the time gets to seem more important than me, who always tries to do everything right. What the heck is up with that? And it can sour things. It can make you feel really angry and upset and think, oh, I'm just not moving in the right way. I'm just not heading in the right direction. But here with the Three of Swords, it's like if you look at the hurts and the pains that come up in your mind, like the voices that come in your head, oh, always a failure, can't ever get ahead, my family, we just stay in this one spot, we never move forward. It's like we're cursed, type of thing. You look at it and you say, I'm done. I am going to have that dream that I want. I am going to have that relationship that I desire. I am going to have that child that I want. I am going to have that dream that I desire coming forward. It may not be in the way that we expect it. Most definitely. It might come to us from divinity in a way that you sit there and you're like, well, that is answering what I have deeply asked for. But it's in such a roundabout way that you look at it and you're like, okay, don't kind of get it all the time, but okay. And you start to see the heartbreak, the pain, the disappointment easing because you start to look at the paths that have been made from it. And you start to see, no, you don't get to be my future. This doesn't get to be it. And so with the Three of Swords, as you start to speak love into your life, as you start to look at the pain, at the things that have broken your heart and crumbled your soul and made you doubt everything about you, but you still talk and speak love into your existence. You see yourself rising above it. And you see either people rising with you or getting the heck out of your way. Because the world is opening up to you. And you're no longer, the proverbial whooping boy. You're just not. It's like that person who, what was it? The whooping boy was the poorer child that was hired by another family to, or sometimes not hired, they could be a servant of them. And their job was to be punished instead of the noble child. So the noble child couldn't be punished, but this person could be. And you're done. You're done with that. You're done with seeing yourself take on the punishments of others, take on the hurts, the pains, the disappointments, and sit there and try to be good. And still, no matter what, like get kicked in the face type of thing. And you're seeing the world starting to open to you. And it's a vast and beautiful world because you've taken yourself out of that role. You're like, no longer am I going to lead forward with the sense of, oh, this person needs me. Oh, I have to be this for that person. Oh, I can't possibly, not. I need to sacrifice me for them is what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing here. And you're done. And then that becomes the key. And it isn't being rude, and it isn't being mean, and it isn't being spiteful or vengeful. It is, in a sense, very powerfully and very openly and very honestly saying, this is who I am, and I get to be me. I get to move forward in my power. I get to move forward in my understanding. I get to open the world to me. And those doors that were once locked, I mean, they weren't even locked, just like with the Five of Pentacles, they were barred, and they've been barred for so long that now, they're layered with metal doors on top of them, and there are chains everywhere, and you're looking at it, and it's like, how do I enter into the world? And then one day, as you start to see you, as you start to embrace your passion, your power, your brilliance, you start to see that the doors have rusted open, that the bars have fallen away, because the negativity that were those bars, it's like you've looked them dead in the eye and said, I see you. I honor who it is that you are. I understand it. I understand that I was in a weak spot. I understand that I was little. I understand that, I could have loved that person so much that their words just meant everything. I get it. But it doesn't get to be my destiny. The world being open to me gets to be my destiny. This gets to be my truth. And you walk forward as the queen, as the empress, with the emperor right here. Now, this is, whenever I have the king and the queen of the same suit in the same deck, it is a soulmate connection. It is a true love connection. You can be falling in love. Maybe not right now because the world is kind of weird. But you here are doing the work to open things up. To open things up to a love that you've never expected. To a passion in your life you thought was for other people. It could be with a partner. It could be finding your purpose in life. It could be sitting there and saying, this is my beauty, this is my truth. And it might be unconventional. Everybody might think, oh, well, it's all supposed to be done this way. And it's like, yeah, well, if it's all supposed to be done this way, and if this convention, leads to happiness, then why isn't everybody in the world happy? I move forward now in my truth. I move forward in my purpose, in my beauty. I move forward claiming the throne that I didn't even know was lost. And I move forward sitting there and saying, and claiming the throne and saying to myself, I don't get to be ruled by anybody else. I get to rule my life. I get to move myself forward. I get to embrace this dream, this passion, this idea, this ideal. And I get to see myself opening to this truth, opening to the purpose that I want to be. My voice is found. Nobody gets to rule over me. I get to embrace the power of my life. And it brings you to the Three of Wands. New horizons, new dawns, new days coming. And it's new excitement. It's like, yes, finally, because it's been so long. So let's see what the moon has to say. How will Pisces be affected by the December 29th, 2020 full moon? How will Pisces be affected by the December 29th, 2020 full moon? How will Pisces be affected by the December 29th, 2020 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. angels, and spirit guides. Fantastic. How is Pisces going to be affected by the December 29th, 2020 full moon? How is Pisces going to be affected by the December 29th, 2020 full moon? How is Pisces going to be affected by the December 29th, 2020 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Ooh, goodness. Okay. Ooh, and one bonus card. Fantastic. We have fear. Unexpected. Acceptance. That makes perfect sense. Patience. Emotions run high. Confidence is your key to success. So it's time to give rather than to take. Your commitment is being tested. Take time to breathe out. Blessings are coming. Believe in the impossible. That's what it says here. Believe in the impossible. But Spirit said in my head very loudly, blessings are coming. So blessings are coming. Believe in the impossible. We start off with fear, which is what we started off this whole entire reading with. It's the fear of the unexpected that has caged you from the acceptance of your greatness. The fear, the being barred, and seeing things like there has been failure. There has definitely been failure. You know, the Matthew principle, the fact that when we fail, what is it proven? Like, you need only 2 really good failures in your life, sometimes 1, and it can just take the wind right out of your sails. It can stop you from being brave and from moving forward the way that you want to, and from, you know, taking life and sitting there and seeing it as the blessing that it is. And all of a sudden it can become one failure after another after another. And so that's what the fear is. It's like, the fear is, will I ever get to have the life that I envision? First of all, it's kind of like stepping back and saying, the world that I envision is powerful and beautiful, and I have a place within it, and that place fills my heart with joy. That's that joy, that happiness, that love, that is what I'm calling into my life. Now I let divinity move me forward. And it doesn't mean that we sit on our couch and we eat chips and we say, divinity, you have the wheel, make it happen, I completely believe in you. It's being proactive. It's going after what it is that you want. It's sitting there and pushing and pushing and pushing and saying, you know, this is my truth, this is my power, this is who it is that I am. And so you take that fear and you start to murder it. You do, because you have the murder of crows around you. And you break free. You break free from the cage. You break free from the doubts. And you move forward in your passion. And it brings you to the unexpected, which is lighting your heart and illuminating your soul. And yes, you have feared the unexpected, but now the unexpected is a lot more beautiful than you had thought it was going to be. And it brings you to an acceptance of you being the queen of your own existence, you being the monarch of your existence, you being behind the scenes and being so absolutely powerful in that role. Have patience. Have patience, because you are breaking a lot of the hurts and the despairs that have been stuck around you for so long. And so here it's kind of like the wheat doesn't grow and isn't ready for harvest all at once. You know, it takes time. It takes time to have it grow, to let it mature. It's like as soon as you plant the seeds, it doesn't come up right away. So as you're moving forward, be patient with the harvest that is coming. Be patient with the way that divinity is guiding you, because you're going to be entering into a world that is astoundingly powerful and astoundingly brilliant. And it brings you to the fact that yes, emotions are running high. Emotions are brought out by the cycle of the moon, okay, so exquisitely. Within the full moon in Cancer, emotions are just a part of who it is that you are. As a water sign energy, emotions are just a part of who it is that you are. You can have amazing highs, right? But you can also have amazing lows. And that's part of you. That is part of you. But as you start to see your hard work pay off, and as you start to embrace your courage, and especially, again, if your full moon is linked with Aquarius in any way, it's kind of like Aquarius is your rising sign, it can be your moon sign, it can be you're born on the cusp with Aquarius. Emotions are astoundingly intricate within your life. there's a tremendous amount of beauty and depth and brilliance to you. But both Aquarius and Pisces, you guys can see the darkness within things very easily and cannot be pulled down by it because you want to change it so much. So here, emotions run high. Be the warrior, okay? Because with the Aries energy around you, it's like, be the warrior for your truth. Don't let the fear come over and then get mad. Let the fear, like, look the fear dead in the eye, and then be the monarch, be the ruler of your life that you yourself need to be empowered, to be emboldened, to say, this is the throne that I sit on, this is the blessing that is me, and I will not be dictated by anybody else. And so then, confidence is your key to success. It's not letting your ego take over with this beautiful link to Leo here. It's letting confidence, it's letting determination be your key to abundance, be your key to success. And it brings you to giving rather than to taking, to giving of your time, your effort, your energy to yourself, rather than taking it and giving it to everybody else. You're going to sit there and have the distinct urge to say, oh, I can give to everybody else, and it doesn't matter what happens to me. It's like, no, give to yourself, give to your beauty, give to your honor of soul, and let that grow as it moves you forward, because you're expelling, you're releasing so much of the energy that has hurt you for too long. And it brings you then to your commitment being tested as the world opens up. It's like, can you move forward this way? Do you know what it is that you want? Where is it that you want to be? Like, how is it that you want to develop and grow and become? Because commitment can be tested as the world starts to open, as you start to see a different path for you. And then as you claim that throne that you didn't know you had, as you claim that power of voice that you didn't know you had, you take time to breathe out. You take time to connect. You take time to embrace, to love, to understand. And it brings you to believing in the impossible, because the impossible becomes more than possible for you. So let's see what your subconscious Luna message is for this time. Oh, goodness. The void, the quiet, the nothing, the darkness of reason and understanding and connection with your heart. It's connecting with silence. Silence is going to be very important to you. It's not going to be something that you like, but it is going to be something that needs to be embraced. Nothing is set in stone. Nothing is set in stone. It just isn't. You're going to think, this is the way the die has been cast. Like, this is the only way that it can be. But nothing is set in stone, and you're going to be astounded with the brilliant way that things transform and become and move around you. And it's also very important to know here, Pisces, that you are not set in stone. There's not only one way forward for you. Your subconscious, ooh, goodness. There we go, chakra message, is psychic development. Your third eye is opening, okay? And you have this intuition, you have this development into your spiritual self. You have this power, this understanding that connects you deeply with your angels, that connects you deeply with your soul as you move forward. And your intuition, spot on during this time. It brings you to your subconscious tarot message. The Four of Earth. This is my vampiric energy card. This is you saying enough is enough. I'm not having my energy pulled away. I'm not having my heart denied, my soul broken. I am moving forward in my prosperity, in my abundance, and nobody gets to take this from me. I cannot be everything to everyone. So I have to stand in the glory of my truth and let that light shine outward. All right, Pisces, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as you step into the unbelievable, as your dreams start to become a powerful part of your reality, and as beauty becomes a part of your soul, as it's not you sacrificing and sacrificing and sacrificing for everybody else, but it's you having this brilliance come in, having this power come in, and it changing your life for the better. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Pisces, and may you have a blessed moon.